All right, we're back. It's been a while since I've talked here. A couple things have happened in the past, in the recent history. I think the first one is that I want to kind of change the focus of what I'm talking about and what I'm doing on this live stream. So in the past, I always picked a topic and I spoke about it for 5 minutes. It was kind of cool. I might continue to do those, but I want to shift the focus to a little bit more of something like a blog or a vlog or whatever they call them, where I just talk about what's happened in my life and what's going on. And I just try and, spitball and talk for a while and get things off my chest. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously this channel is not that active, so uh, maybe it won't go anywhere. Maybe it will, but I'm here and I'm about to talk. Um, as the title says, the first thing, I think the most interesting thing that's happened to me in the last uh, week has been getting ghosted by a girl on Tinder. Actually, it was Bumble. It wasn't Tinder. It was this Bumble chick. And for those of you who don't know or aren't aware of my life at the moment, I've been going on a lot of Bumble dates lately in an effort to get in some type of relationship. And it's been a wild ride, all right? I've had people show up angry at me. I've had people show up so much unlike their photos that I just had to laugh a little. I chuckled a little bit. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, this is a little absurd. Like, I know you've taken more recent photos than this. Post them to your profile so that we can judge you like we're being judged. All right, we're all judging each other on this app, so let's at least be real with each other. Anyway, my latest excitement was being ghosted by a girl after the second date. So we went on the first date. We kind of hit it off. I had a good time. Thought she was cute, talkative. Conversation flowed really well. We just got breakfast, whatever. And then, the conversation kept flowing over text messages. Like, we just, we vibed really well. And so we decided to go out, a week later, Thursday night, we decided to go out and just get some drinks, low key, right? And we do. I mean, she didn't ghost me until after the second date. We go out. The vibe was not. It wasn't there like it was on the first date. All right, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real. I think that as we tend to hype these things up in our heads too. So you have a good first date, and you just keep building this profile of this person in your head. Like, all of a sudden they go from they're a 7. You think they're pretty cool. They could be something. To in your head they're now a 9, and everything they say is hilarious and blah blah blah. And of course over text message you have a lot of opportunities to filter out what you're saying and to make it more polished and be a little more intelligent and all of that. And so I think there was a little bit of that going on. But anyway, in my head, I'd overhyped it up. I got to the date. I was kind of not feeling it, honestly. We talked across a bunch of topics, and we just never found one topic that we were just resonating on. The best time that we had was actually playing this game, and it's what is it called? Shoot. I can't remember the name of this game, but it's basically a card game where you flip the card over and it asks you a question. And in this case, it was just all sexual items. Imagine have you masturbated in the last 24 hours? Something stupid like that. And you know what? Actually playing that game was a lot of fun. But outside of that, I didn't feel like we vibed. We got a little physical, which was fun. But at the end of the night, really not feeling it that much. But, in my head, it didn't seem like she wasn't feeling it that much. It was weird. After we left the bar, her car was further away than mine. So we just hopped in my car to get over there, and she couldn't find her keys or something. She dumped her entire purse on the floor of my car. Don't ask me why. I didn't really understand. I still don't really understand it. But she did find her keys. Actually, she didn't find her keys. They were in her car. So we found her keys. But right before she got out of my car, we made out really quickly, and then I'm like, we should do something this weekend because I wasn't necessarily like for certain that she wasn't what I was looking for. That there was no chemistry there. I was like, all right, second date didn't go as well as the first. I'd give it a third, right? And she just like instantly was like, hell yeah, I'll come over to your place tomorrow. And I'm like, hell yeah, sounds good. And it's probably a little bit horny me or whatever, but I was like, yeah, this is great, this is good. And she gets out of my car, gets in her car, blah blah blah. I drive home. At the I get home. Like 10 minutes later, I shoot her a text that's like, "Hey, let me know when you get home safe." Blah blah blah. And I don't think much of it. My boys are online playing some video games, so I just pop on real quick and we play a little bit, and then it's like 1 a.m. She still hasn't texted me back, but I'm like, this girl just, maybe she just crashed out and check her phone, or she has, notifications silent. I wasn't that worried about it. I wake up the next morning and, kind of running through my head, I'm like, damn, I really am not feeling this girl. And I probably shouldn't have scheduled that hangout at my place. Maybe I should text her and be like, all right. I think that this is moving too fast. Let's just go get a drink somewhere else or coffee or something. You know what I mean? Probably a bad move. Honestly, once you start hitting the brakes, I think you already know the direction that it's going. And so I probably should have just been like, hey, I'm not feeling it. But either way, it didn't come down to that because I never had a chance. She had, I don't remember how I figured it out. I really don't know. But she blocked my phone. She blocked my Instagram. She blocked everything. And what I noticed is the message that I sent that night, literally 30 minutes after I last seen her, never got delivered. And what that means is she blocked my text messages within half an hour, probably before she even left the parking lot. Which is crazy to me. Like, even if it wasn't a good date, and like I said, I didn't think there was a lot of chemistry. Even if it wasn't a good date, A, why do you suggest coming to my house? Like, what the fuck? And B, like, why don't you just text me and say, hey, this wasn't good for me. Like, we're not vibing. I don't feel it. Like, see you later. Like, we talked for 2 weeks over text pretty constantly. We hung out twice. Like, you could spend 30 seconds writing a text message, to explain why this isn't going to work out. So I was a little actually like beaten up yesterday because this girl just kind of, just vanished. It was just the sheer like abruptness of it all. I was like, even if I wasn't feeling it, like I just weird situation. So that's my first experience with ghosting. All right. And I thought it was worse than I expected. Yeah, so that was Thursday night, and that was wild. Another thing that's been going on in my life is I've been listening to this. It's called like This Past Weekend or something with Theo Vales. This dude is hilarious, man. He just goes on and on. He just spouts words out. He talks and he talks and he talks and he says things. It's like, yeah, I can kind of vibe with that. I understand where you're coming from, bro. Like, actually, I've listened to him so much that I think he partially inspired me to start talking on YouTube again. And also, I feel like I'm talking like him a little bit. So I might have to rein that back in at some point. But right now, I'm just rolling with it. All right. I can take inspiration wherever I can get it. But I have been listening to that a lot. It's very cool because some of the things I've already heard have been like, they vibe with me. Like, you know what I mean? Like the things that he says about, not having people there for you when you're a kid, or not having those conversations with your parents, or your dad not really like giving you a lot of direction in life, or teaching you, how to be a man, or how to be even a functioning adult. Like, yeah, I know how to, mow the lawn. I know how to balance a checkbook. I know how to clean the garage. I can change oil. But like the real things that matter in life, like how to love somebody, or how to like apologize, or how to grow, how to evaluate yourself and realize where your shortages are, or how to just have difficult conversations. Like none of that happened growing up. There was no emotional depth. It was just cold. It was cold, and I was withdrawn. And like, it saddens me to look at that era of my life, because it's just painful to see what could have been, and to see what was, and and to watch my path and my journey through life be so poorly directed. You know what I mean? So out of sync with how it should have been. It's like years wasted, if you will. And I feel like, I'm glad I realized it, when I did. It's been, I don't think I really started, like, I've always been focused on improvement, but there's just been mental blocks between me and that improvement. You know what I mean? Like, just these religious or culturally ingrained mental blocks that prevented me from moving in the direction that I needed to go. Like the way I view relationships, or friendships, or interactions with people, or the way I perceive myself through the eyes of other people. Like all of these things have dwelt with me for so many years, and now I'm working very actively to deconstruct them, to rip them out of my life, to challenge them, and to see if they're actually worthy of being a part of my life. And 99% of the time, they're not. And I have to figure out how to deconstruct these things that have been put in place, so that I can grow back in a way that suits me, in a way that jives with society. Um, And so that's what I've just been constantly working on for the last couple of years. But it's slow progress, and it's amazing how much of a grip things you learn and things you're taught in your childhood have on your life, and how big of an effect they have. But that was a bit of a tangent. Needless to say, the show, or the podcast, has been really good for me. It's always great when you see people who are like you, and who are going through similar things, and you see the way they're learning to cope with them, and the way they've challenged them, and the way they've grown through them. And I hope to learn more through that. But yeah, and my work, I don't really want to talk about it, but that's going good. Playing a lot of disc golf lately. If you don't play disc golf, I think you should. Like, it's just a lot of fun. You get to hang out, you can bro out. It's basically the cheapest sport in the world, man. Like, you can go play disc golf anywhere for free. You gotta buy, like, you can play with 3 discs. You have 6 discs, and you got a full kit, and that costs you what? Probably $100 for 6 discs, and then you're like set. You can play this game unlimited times. You don't have to pay to play anywhere. Like, it's the ultimate sport. All right. I will warn you, it's harder than everyone thinks, though. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it's disc golf. I know how to throw a frisbee. Like, no big deal." And then they go out and they throw a disc, and for the first time, and they're like, "Oh my god!" It goes out, it just cuts into the ground. So ready yourself for that. Maybe catch a YouTube video or something. There's options out there. People will teach you how. find somebody, find a local club to learn from, but get out there and play some disc golf. It's a good game. What else? What has been really going through my mind lately? Um, I mean, the stuff that, like I said, I was talking about my childhood. My childhood's been replaying a lot in my life. It's just one of those things that my brain likes to crunch on from time to time. And it's a shame because there's not a whole lot I can do about it at this point, right? My childhood was my childhood. I can't look back and adjust it. I can't go convince my parents to, change their views of it. In fact, they're very entrenched in the way they see my childhood and the way they believe that it was really ideal. They believe it was borderline perfect, and so it's hard to have those conversations with them because they just don't they can't understand. They're so set in their ways that they can't see that it caused a lot of problems for all of us kids. And that's sad, but either way, it is what it is. I still do love my parents, and I still want some type of relationship with them. I want to develop a deeper understanding of each other. I think there's still possibilities for that. I don't think there's it's over or anything. I don't need them in my life, but I need to understand. I need to learn to create the boundaries that will protect me because at times I'll go out there, spend some time with them and end up very depressed at the end of that time. And so I need to control how much exposure I have and ensure that I'm working towards figuring out why I'm so depressed when I'm around them, but also, um, yeah, figuring out why I'm so depressed and maybe potentially how to make that better. So that's a part of my life right now. Um, on another note, I'm looking at pianos. I really want to figure out what I like. All right, it's interesting. All right, I spent 30 years of my life just living for other people, doing things because I thought they looked cool, or because I thought they were cool, or because I thought people would like me better if I did them. Just not being me, and so w- once I started realizing that, which has been in the last year or two, I've been actively trying to cut things that really don't bring me joy, like things that I was doing I was just doing to do, I guess, just to stay busy or just to impress somebody else or whatever the case may be. And I've found that one of the big ones is I think running. I just don't think that running was as much about me as it was about, oh, I'm good at running. I could impress other people by running. I'm kind of fast. Like, let me get out there and run. Let me turn this into a hobby. And, people will think I'm cool. Um, I think that's where it went anyway. Maybe it didn't start out that way, but it ended up there. And so I've cut back on running a lot. I've cut back on run clubs because I felt like I was doing so many run clubs that there was no room for me to grow anywhere else. I was always at a run club. And if I'm always at a run club, I don't have time to be sitting there thinking about myself or planning for the future, meeting new people, experiencing new things throughout the week. I was just constantly in this run club grind where I would go see the same people, talk about the same things, share the same experiences, and it was like its own little echo chamber. Like I didn't grow at all over the course of the 3 years I was down here. I don't want to say I didn't grow at all, but I didn't grow as much as I could have because I was just so focused on this running and so focused on uh, just on feeling like I had community around me all the time. I think that's what it partially was. I'm very insecure, and so like having people around me all the time gave me this kind of security blanket. It's like people like me, people want me around. I have people to talk to. What I've learned is I don't necessarily need that anymore. You know what I mean? Um, and I struggle because I'm saying this online. It's probably not the best thing for me to do because I love all those people. I really do. Like they're good friends. They're good people. They're great people, actually. But I need to get out and do more. I need to step out on my own and kind of force my way forward. And so I've cut back on run clubs. I've cut back on a lot of things in my life, and I'm trying to now fill that void. And this brings me all the way back around to the piano thing. So I'm looking at pianos because I want to take piano lessons and try to expand my musical ability. Try to learn something. You know what I mean? I'm 30 fucking years old, 31, guys, and I can't play an instrument. I can't speak two languages. It's like I don't I don't have any like particularly amazing sports skills. I can run. You know how long it takes people. Everyone can run. All right. If you're in any sort of physical shape, you can run. It's not a skill. It's more of a I don't know how to explain it. Running isn't a skill. It's you train to be better at it. Yeah, you can improve. It's like lifting. Lifting isn't really a skill. It's like something you can train up. It's a I don't know. Somebody let me know what that is. There's a different word for it, but I want to actually learn some skills. You know what I mean? Something really like valuable to me, and I think playing the piano would be really valuable. I love music. I love listening to music. I actually like dancing to music, even though I'm a god awful dancer. I think that'll be next. Like I feel like all of my musical stuff is actually coming together a little bit right now. Like I feel like I've gotten better at dancing. I can kind of feel the music flow through me like I never could before. And that's just because I've spent so much time listening to music and trying to move to it and feeling the beat and coupling myself to that beat and not trying to think about what I'm going to do next. Like actually like being in this like focal plane that is the present and everything's kind of like flowing through it, but right in that moment you're there. You're just doing whatever your brain is doing. There's no conscious thought. There's no conscious effort to what you're doing. It's like I'm talking right now. Like I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say next. I'm just saying words as they're hitting my mouth, as they're hitting my brain. And I think that's a beautiful place to be. It's actually my favorite place to be. It's where I want to be. You know, whenever I'm around people, it's where I want to be a lot of the time because it's just this it's existing, it's being, it's being, and I want to be, you know what I mean? And I think dance is all about being. It's all about being in that moment, being in sync with the music around you. And I think learning the piano is going to be the same thing. I don't necessarily want to learn to just like I don't want to just memorize songs. I want to get to the point where I can just be in the moment, understand what sound each key makes and use that to generate a song because I can hear that song in my head. You know what I mean? Like just build my own music. That's what I want to do. And I think it's possible. I really do. I think it's somewhere in me. There's a musical capability. Both of my sisters play the piano. Both of my sisters sing. I think somewhere within me there's the ability to play the piano and sing, and that's I'm gonna find it, all right, or I'm gonna prove myself wrong, one or the other. But so I'm gonna get a piano. I'm really excited about it. Probably gonna get lessons, but we'll see. I might start out just like tinkering a little bit, YouTube videos here, just sitting on the piano and trying to understand the noise that each key makes, because I think that's gonna be key, like understanding where every musical sound comes from so that when that music is wants to flow through me, I know where the keys are at. I know how to move them. So who knows? I could be full of shit right now. I'm talking as an outsider to music, really. But I do love music, and I think tying this back into my lack of interests that are actually focused, that actually come from within, I think this is one of those interests that I actually have. Music. Um, Music is art. That's beautiful. I actually think I might be into painting. I don't know. There's so many things I just don't know because I never went out and tried. You know what I mean? I know I don't really care for um, video games, for example. I can play video games, but it doesn't bring me any satisfaction. Or like going to hockey games doesn't really provide me any satisfaction. Like I could zone out the entire game, not see a single play, and be happier. Like I'm not in the moment there because I don't even want to be there. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out what do I really want to do? What do I really want to be? And what is that? And finding it has been harder than you would think. Like I'll sit there and look at the ceiling and be like, all right, what do I like? If I could do anything right now, what would I do? And it's like nothing hits my brain. Like I could just do nothing. Maybe nothing is what I like to do, but that's not me. I think that's just because I haven't exposed myself to the things that I want to do. You know what I mean? I got to go out. I got to get out there. I got to go to soccer games. I got to go concerts late at night. You know what I mean? I gotta ride around on a scooter and just scream at the top of my lungs. I've gotta get on stage at a karaoke bar and just sing and see if maybe that's what I love. Maybe singing in front of people is my greatest calling. Who knows? You don't know until you try, and I haven't tried anything, folks. I just need to get out there and actually experience life. All right. So that's really my goal for this year. Like completely eliminate any sort of external influence. Not completely. All right. So like completely eliminate public influence. I think there should always be some feedback loop in your life, like your best friends. In my case, my grandmother. Um, a couple other people who I feel really comfortable with and who I truly respect their opinions. And I that respect comes from seeing their lives and seeing what they've built and seeing what they've done. So um, those people, yeah, they do get some influence in my life, and I think that's how it should be. But not the general public. I don't need to care about what some random person walking down the road thinks, or what people in the gym think as I'm trying to lift weights, and then I'll be standing there like, oh my god, what are they thinking about me? Like, why, am I lifting right? I'm a little self-conscious. Like, I don't need to be self-conscious. All right, I'm at the gym, I'm lifting. Like, even if these guys are like Olympic power lifters and they know what's up and they're like laughing at me because I'm doing it all wrong, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like I'm still getting a workout. I haven't hurt myself. Like if they have, thoughts on the way that I'm working out and the way that I'm doing things, you know what? They can come over and really politely be like, hey, if you do this right, like if you do this like this, like you're gonna see way better results. Your risk of injury goes down. Blah 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 blah. And I'll be like, you know what? Thank you for your input. Let me incorporate it. Or thank you for your input. I disagree, but thank you. Have a nice day. But like, I don't need to give a shit about all these people and their thoughts and they're looking at me. Who cares? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm me. I got to go out there and be me. And if I look stupid to the general public being me, it's all right. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm okay with that. And I think that circles around to the whole idea of loving yourself. Like this is something I've found is that like as I like pimp myself up and I like constrain myself to other people's approval and to trying to make other people happy, I developed this absolute like self detestation. Like I kind of hated myself. I kind of resented myself for what I had let myself become, and like for bottling myself up. Like, I hated myself and I wanted to be something different, but that wasn't the solution. The solution was to realize that I am enough. Like if I want it and it's not what the general public wants, or it's not what everyone thinks I should want, it doesn't matter. You're unique. I'm unique. Like I've got to live my life. I've got to be me. And you know what? People will either like me for what I am or they won't like me. And you know what? I won't even see them. Like they won't even be around. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? There's enough people in this world that you can always find someone that'll like you for being the way you are. That's what I've been learning lately is that like, and it's beautiful because it really has like improved my self-esteem. It's improved my optical view of myself. Like I feel better about myself the more I try to be me, the more I stand up for myself, the more I look out for my own self, the more I do what I want to do. When I just let myself go, when I just say the words that hit my brain, when I just act in the moment, it's beautiful. And it's not always perfect. It's not always like I make mistakes all the time. I say the wrong thing. I try to like celebrate and I look like a fool, but it's me trying to be me, you know what I mean? And I really like it. I really like it. I really look forward to seeing what I actually like and seeing what, really makes me happy and really just I don't know. I think there's a lot of happiness down the road for me and a lot of joy and a lot of excitement that I haven't felt for the last 31 years. And I'm really like looking forward to just bringing that inner child back out. You know what I mean? The kid that got bottled up all those years ago, the kid that's just hid from the world, the kid that's just, laughed out loud. Like, I look forward to just being that kid again. Um, I think I'm going to close out there. I don't think there's much else to talk about. Uh, I hope you enjoy this if you listen. If not, shoot me an IM, tell me what I'm doing wrong, and you know what? I will either make the correction or I will thank you and not make the correction. But either way, peace out. Have a good one. Take it easy. Talk to you next time.